I'm gonna take a little bit of this onto my fingertips. For face primer, I'm using one of my favorites. This is the Smashbox Full Exposure. No, I lied. It's not full exposure. Gotta stay hydrated. Gotta stay hydrated. Hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be kind of like a first impressions video on the new, or is this new? I don't know. It's probably not new because I was able to get it and it wasn't out of stock, but this is the Kylie Jenner, the Burgundy eyeshadow palette. And I wanted to pick it up because I've been wanting the Anastasia Renaissance palette and I felt like these shadows were slightly similar, so I decided to give it a whirl, give it a go. You guys know. So I'm going to be using this in today's video and I will let you guys know my thoughts on it, that kind of stuff. You'll see how they apply, all of that. So without further ado, I'm gonna stop rambling and we're gonna get into the video. For face primer today, I'm gonna use my tried and true Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. I'm gonna take a little bit of this on my fingertips and apply it into the center of my face. Today I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, and I'm gonna use this to actually prime my eyelids. You can use an eyeshadow base or you could use a concealer. To me, they work the same, so I'm just going to rub this all over. To blend this all out, I'm gonna use this brush right here. This is the Luxie 229 brush, and I'm just going to blend it out. After applying that concealer all over the lid, I'm just gonna go in with a nude shade. Today I'm just using a powder by Manna Kadar, but you can use any nude shadow that you have. And I'm gonna use that same Luxie brush and I'm just going to apply it directly over the concealer. So that way it doesn't crease or anything like that. After applying that base shade, I'm now gonna go in with the Kylie Jenner Burgundy palette. I actually just picked this up, it came in the mail yesterday. And I knew for sure I wanted to create a look using it. So it has these really pretty kind of like rosy tone shades with some gold and like some burgundy. So I'm really excited to give it a try. The first shade I'm gonna go in with is this middle one right here. This one is called Beach. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Beach and tap off the excess. To apply Beach, I'm gonna use the Sigma E40 tapered blending brush and I'm just gonna rock this back and forth in the depths of my crease. You don't have to be too precise with this. You can apply it very messily. This is our transition color and like I said, it doesn't have to be too precise. You just want to make sure it's very nice and blended. After blending that shade in the crease, I'm now going to go in with this shade right here, which is called Penny, and this is on a Morphe M433 brush. I'm going to take this and I'm really going to focus it in the very outer V of my eyelid. So I'm just going to place it right here, and I'm going to push the product. Instead of just swiping it, when you push the product, you get a little bit more color payoff. So I'm just going to push it in this area and then I'm going to drag it into the crease. Not even gonna lie, her shadows are a little bit on point and that's definitely dangerous because when I like something, I want more. I'm just gonna continue and build this product up in the outer V. The next shade in this palette that I'm gonna use is this one right here in the center, and this one's called Burgundy. I'm gonna use this Sigma Pencil E30 brush, and I'm just going to place this on the very upper lash line, so right here, and I'm just going to smoke this like that. Now, once I have that shade closest to my lash line, I'm gonna take my Morphe M433 brush, and I'm just going to slightly blend the edges into that Penny shade we just applied. Taking a little bit of that concealer on a concealer brush by Sigma, I'm going to place this on my eyelids to kind of clean up this area right here before we go ahead and apply our shimmer shade. So I'm just going to brush this on this area and I'm just kind of carving it out really. The next shade in the palette that I'm going to use is this one right here called Dubai, which is this really pretty kind of like shimmery burgundy color. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that color and place it directly over top of that concealer we just applied. With that shade called Penny, I'm just going to continue to pack it onto the very outer portion of my lid so that way it doesn't get lost in all of these burgundy tones that we're applying. I know this looks really crazy right now, but I promise you it's all gonna come together in the end. I'm just going to take this brush and blend out the edges. To take a little bit of a break from the eyes, I'm gonna go in foundation. I'm gonna use the Maybelline Fit Me foundation on a Real Techniques sponge, and I'm just going to pounce this into my skin. I have to like make myself look like a human again because I look crazy AF, but it's okay. Now, when you apply your foundation with a beauty blender or a sponge, you really want to make sure it is damp, because if it's not damp, it's not going to work the way you want it to. For brows today, I'm going to go in with two different products. I'm going to go in with the Benefit Gimme Brow and also the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. But first, I'm going to go in with the Gimme Brow, and I'm just going to brush this through my eyebrows. What I really like to do with this is just brush it through my brows very, very gently without pressing too hard for more of a natural finish. After that, I like to go in with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer, and I like to go over the tip of my brow and carve it out a little bit for more of a defined look. I told myself I wasn't gonna get carried away with my brows, and well, yeah, look at me now. Now for my brow bone highlight, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here called Naked, and I'm just going to place this on my brow bone. Guys, one thing that I don't like about this palette is that it doesn't come with a mirror. I just think that's pretty pointless. I feel like if you're gonna come out with an eyeshadow palette, you should definitely come out with a palette that has a mirror. So that's a bit unfortunate. I want something to really get up under my brow bone, so I'm gonna use this brush right here. This is the Sigma Short Shader brush, and I'm gonna push this directly underneath my brow. For concealer today, I'm gonna use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Blend this out, I'm going to use my same damp beauty blender and just pounce it underneath my eyes. To set underneath my eyes, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Manica D'Or Dual Powder in C2 on a Sigma E35 tapered highlighting brush. For liner today, I'm gonna use the NYC Liquid Liner. I absolutely love this stuff. It's super duper black, and I'm just gonna use this to create a cat eye wing. After that, I'm gonna take that same pencil brush in that burgundy shade, and I'm gonna run it alongside the outer edge of my eyelid, smoking it out. Once that color is blended on the very outer edge, I'm gonna go in with this waterproof gel pencil by Maybelline. This is their Lasting Drama, and this one is in the shade Striking Copper. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to draw this in the very inner corner on the very lower lash line. And then I'm just gonna drag it into that burgundy color. Once we have that applied, I'm gonna go in with this really pretty kind of like shimmery copper color on a Sigma E20 short shader brush, and I'm just going to apply that color directly over top. And this is really just going to make it pop. Then I'm just gonna take that burgundy shade again and blend the copper and the burgundy together, so that way it's nice and blended. For mascara today, I'm actually gonna use this one right here. This is the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Mascara, and I wanna say this doesn't launch until January of 2017. They sent this to me in a PR package, and I'm really excited to give it a try, so I'm just going to use this to coat my lashes. I guess it really doesn't matter because you guys know I'm gonna apply falsies anyways. I'm also gonna take this and put this on my lower lashes. So for my inner corner highlight, instead of doing like a peachy nude, I'm gonna use that same copper shade on a pencil brush and just pop it right in there. Now to set the rest of my face makeup in place, I'm gonna go in with this foundation powder. This is the 4-in-1 Pressed Minimal Makeup by Purr. And I'm just gonna take this on a big fluffy brush by Sigma. This is their F30. And I'm just going to set the rest of my foundation in place. For bronzer, I'm gonna use Bahama Mama by The Balm. This stuff is one of my favorites. I have been using it non-stop recently. I just love, love, love the coverage and the color. It's not too warm and it's also not too cool. It's like literally the perfect bronzer. And I'm just going to apply this in a big old motion right here because I'm trying to bronze more than I am contour. To clean up my bronzer a little bit, I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques Miracle Sponge and a little bit of the Airspun face powder, and I'm gonna drag it directly underneath to go ahead and clean up any of those lines and just make them a little bit more precise. For highlight today, I'm gonna use this palette right here, which is by the Estee Edit. This is the Eyes Face Glow palette. You guys probably saw this in my current favorites. And I'm just going to mix these two together. This is Snow Lit and 14K. And I'm just gonna pop this on the highest points of my cheekbones. So right in this area right here. For blush and such, I'm just going to mix these two shades right down here, which is gonna create a really pretty kind of like bronzy color, similar to what we have on the eyes. And I'm just going to buff it in between that contour shade and also my highlight shade. Once that's done, I'm just gonna take my fluffy brush and just brush away all of that powder. For the lips today, I'm gonna line them with this Milani lip liner. This one is in the shade 03 Nude. Then I'm gonna go in with this lipstick right here. This is in the shade Beach Pop 09 by Clinique. This is one of their new lip colors, and it is a matte color, so I'm really excited. And to top everything off, I'm gonna go in with the Like Lip Gloss by Kylie Cosmetics. And just like that, guys, that's the end of today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you guys own the Burgundy palette by Kylie Jenner, let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. I will say that I like it. The shadows are extremely creamy, blendable, pigmented. But I will say for 9 eyeshadows, 3, 6, 9 eyeshadows that you get in this palette for $42, I think it's a little bit steep just because there are other palettes out there where you get more shadows for the same exact price. I will also say that this is cardboard material, so it kind of reminds me of like BH Cosmetics palettes when they come out with them. And the downfall, oh no buddy, almost dropped it, almost broke. The video would have been over. I will say that it doesn't come with a mirror, so that's very disappointing, especially for a $42 eyeshadow palette. So those are just my thoughts. Like I said, I do like it, but I feel like there are more affordable versions if we're comparing like pigmentation and quality out there on the market. So with that being said, I don't have anything else to say. I'm destroying this table over here. I need to go. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys want to see next on this channel. And goodbye. I don't know what to say. I gotta go. It's getting really awkward, so peace out.